YouTube, how are you now? Well, not so bad. So PUBG's come a long way since it first released all the way back in 2017, over 8 years ago. Added a bunch of maps, a bunch of weapons, a bunch of modes. Even changed some gameplay mechanics, so more recently they added the ability to bring back dead teammates, similar to how Apex Legends does it, where if you go to their death box and grab their keycard or whatever it's called, you can bring it to a revive station and they'll be able to come back. So a lot has changed, a lot has improved over the years, and it still holds up pretty well. Even after 8 years, even after all the other battle royales that have come out, the gunplay is probably the best part of it. So the guns actually feel like they have heft to them. They have a lot of recoil. They feel like they do good damage, so you can kill pretty quickly in this game, especially if you go for headshots. So it's definitely a more hardcore experience compared to like the more casual games like Warzone and that kind of stuff, where they added a lot more casual elements to it, whereas this game's more the original, a little bit more hardcore. So still a lot of fun. Unfortunately, they removed the AI training against all the bots. So you used to be able to play 10 games just against bots on the original map, kind of learn the game, but they took that out. So all you have now really is the casual mode. So it's limited to only 3 games per day, and it's only third person. So if you want to play first person, which I vastly prefer to third person, you can always change the perspective, but it puts you at a disadvantage against the real players who are playing in third person, who can peek around corners without actually exposing their bodies and that kind of stuff. But not that big a deal. The main issue is you only have three games per day, so if you want to learn the game after a long time coming back like me, or you're new to the game and don't really know what's going on, kind of at a disadvantage there. So, but there are bots in the regular modes too. It just depends, like, on your skill level and how much you've played and that kind of stuff, how many games you've won. When I first started playing, I played quite a bit of solo squads, no fill, and the majority of the games were against bots. But after a certain point, they started filling it with mostly real players. So, and then like every season it would reset for a little bit, but only a couple games. So even after being away from the game for like over a year, I came back and only the first 2 games of solo squads, no fill, were majority bots. After that, it was majority real players. So unfortunate. And then solo play, I tried solo play too, so it's kind of hit or miss. I only played a few games, but it varied from like as low as 19 real players to as many as 50 real players, with everything in between and no real rhyme or reason to it. So I'm not sure if that's based on your skill level, or there are just not enough people playing to fill it, so it just fills the lobbies with bots if there's not enough players. But not a very consistent experience, so not really a whole lot you can do as far as just playing against bots casual mode, unless you're below average player or a brand new player. The majority of your games will be against mostly bots, but there will still be some real players, just vast majority will be bots. So still a fun game, still holds up pretty well, but the movement and stuff definitely definitely shows its age. You know, it feels pretty janky, the movement. They were considering doing like a PUBG 2.0. So I mean, the game's 8 years old, so could have used some improvements, but at the same time, they probably didn't really need to, because the game's still pretty popular on Steam at peak times. So still going pretty strong for an 8-year-old OG battle royale game. So it's the more hardcore experience compared to some of the more casual games. So I guess that's all you have really to work with. But I wish they had the AI training unlimited against all bots and all the maps, because even when they had it back in the day, it was only the original map, Erangel. So, and the casual mode's only Erangel as well, so you can't really learn the maps casual modes. So that's kind of what you need the casual mode for, you know, to learn the mechanics, to learn the maps, get more comfortable with stuff. But nothing really like that, so it's too bad. But I'm surprised Escape from Tarkov haven't made a battle royale game, because I think that would translate really well. I think that would probably be my preferred way to play a battle royale, with much more realistic. So no knocks. If you get killed, you're dead, you know, even if you're in a team. Obviously that's probably not preferred for people in teams, but it actually makes your lives count, your kills count. Because I mean, if you snipe somebody all the way across the map in a building, in a team game, I mean, he'll just get knocked and then his teammates will just revive him. So there's really no point even taking that shot. But if they just died, then it would actually make a difference. And a single player would actually be able to challenge a team if they're able to pick them off one by one strategically and still have a chance. Whereas with down mechanics, revive mechanics, bring back mechanics, all that kind of stuff, the better team's usually gonna have the greatest chance of winning. So whether they die or not, they can always revive, bring back, all that kind of stuff. So lives aren't as important, you know, kills don't matter as much. Your life doesn't matter as much if you have a good team backing you up to cover your mistakes. Whereas I would much prefer a much more hardcore battle royale where every life counts. If you die, you die. There is no coming back. So you can take those long shots from across the map and actually get the kill, or you can pick teams off one by one and have a chance towards the end, you know. So not having to worry about them just bringing back their teammates, and then they have the whole squad again at the end. But no idea if that'll happen or not. So this is all we got. So still enjoyable, but it's not really a whole lot for me specifically. With the skill matching as a solo player, it's not really that enjoyable. So solo play is not really enjoyable because it tends to be a lot more campy. People play a lot more passively, hiding in buildings and waiting for you to walk by. And if you're running around, they can hear your footsteps, and you don't even know they're there. So they just wait for you to run to their field of view and then shoot you down, you know, before you even know they're there. So that's part of it, but at the same time, it's not really how I prefer to play. I just like to run around, get into fights, get into kills, you know. And with skill matching and that kind of stuff, you can't really do that. You could probably do that against the average majority of players because they don't take it as seriously. They tend to play more randomly, whereas above average lobbies, people tend to play a lot more seriously, trying to win. So I don't really care so much about winning. I just want to get into as many fights as possible, get some kills. If I win, I win. If I don't, that's fine too. But I just wanted to be able to get in the action, you know, just shoot some people without having to play super passive or having to play super strategically or having to stack with a full crew of similar skilled players just to have a chance. So. But yeah, still a fun game, just not really for me, you know. Games aren't really made for me these days. Modern gaming doesn't really have what I'm looking for specifically, so what can you do? You can only hope one day, but I don't know. All these battle royales that they have tend to cater more towards the casual crowd, but at the same time try to be as competitive as possible, which kind of goes against contradictory elements, you know. A casual game can't really be competitive. A competitive game can't really be casual either, so either one or the other, whereas if you try to do both, it doesn't really work. It doesn't really work for either. But as a solo player or a good player in a group of mixed skill friends, you're always going to be at a disadvantage with skill matching, unfortunately. So it's just not really enjoyable, you know. Even if you're a better player as an individual, one player is not enough to handle a group, because they're average maybe, but if they're above average players who work well together, one player is not really going to be able to take them out unless it's picking them off one at a time. But the vast majority of those teams play together, shoot together, team shoot. stay within each other's range. So even if you're able to kill one or knock one, the rest of the team is on you shooting you too. So even if you can get two, you're probably not going to get three, and then the third will just revive their teammates, and it was worth nothing, you know? So, but yeah. Just been trying to find ways to enjoy the game, but majority really all I can play is the casual mode, and that's only three times a day, so not really a game that I can grind out long term. None of my friends are really playing either, so just me. But yeah, let me know down in the comments if you're still playing PUBG, if it's still one of the favorites, because it's definitely in concept my favorite battle royale, but in execution not always, you know. But I would prefer like I said, I would prefer a more hardcore, where every kill actually matters. No downs, no revives, no bringing players back. If you're dead, you're dead. But obviously, that's not really enjoyable as a team, especially if you die early and then you just either have to wait for your team to either die or win the game, or you just leave and join another game by yourself or some other people or whatever. But understand it as from a team play perspective, it's not that fun. But I would prefer a more hardcore battle royale, where one player can actually make a difference, you know, where kills actually matter, not you knock somebody, but if you can't push in and get the finish, they're just going to revive them and it didn't count for anything. So yeah, the rest is just more highlights from solo squads. I played a couple full squad games and then some solo games, and then the rest was just the casual mode, third person, but I switched to first person. So, and then the last game at the end is majority from the replay mode. So I didn't realize I wasn't recording, so I tried to do it from the replay mode, so you can actually replay your games, which is pretty cool, but it's not very user friendly, not very intuitive, and it doesn't look anything like the in-game experience. So I couldn't figure out how to make it look more like the in-game experience. It just shows like all the names, the health bars, and all that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Oh, that was a nice shot.